What's going on, Lions fans? This is your boy, The Bridge, aka the most delusional Lions fan that you're ever going to meet. Okay, so first things first, if y'all will, just go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. Make sure y'all hit that like button for real, man. If y'all want to, subscribe to me. We're going to get into the Lions content today. Yesterday's video was, basically just me covering, little things, that I saw, and I just kind of gave my take on it. But, today we're going to get into a little bit of, the players, a little more in depth into some of the players, and then, some of the coaches that we picked up. So first person that I want to talk about, that I feel like can make a really, really big difference, or it could be a disaster, is Julio Jones. Okay, so my opinion with Julio Jones and the Lions going after him and everything is basically, I feel like he's a great receiver. I feel like we have a young receiving core right now, and I think that he could be that veteran leadership and that veteran voice that they would need in the locker room, and I feel like he might give them a good example. And the second thing that I like to say about Julio is, man, his hands is crazy. He got good hands, man. The guy, he's a different type of player. He's very proficient. He runs his routes great. And I never really heard any negative things about him, from, their organization or any players coming from there. It's always been, he's a solid guy, so if the Lions could get somebody like that, that would definitely be a good thing, because he's not all the way, he's not declining at a fast rate right now. He still can get you 100, 150 yards, 6 catches, 5 catches a game. I feel like he can produce that for us, and that's kind of what we need. We need that wide receiver for teams to fear. Right now the wide receivers that we have on our team, I don't think anybody's really looking at them like, yeah, man, we got to watch out for him, or we got to double him, because we don't really have any names that'll jump out at you on the receiving core right now. So if we could pick up Julio Jones, it would definitely open up a lot of more opportunity for the young guys that we have on the team, like Cephas and like Armand Ra, St. Brown. I feel like that'd be a good thing for them, and it would actually get them an example to follow. So I think Julio Jones, if they could land him, it would definitely be good, But one thing I will say is don't overpay for him, though. Like, he's a great receiver and all, but don't overpay for him, because the Lions, they overpay for guys who come to us used up, and then they don't produce anything for us. I'm not saying underpay the guy and disrespect him for what he asking for, but I'm just saying don't overpay the man. Don't overpay him, because he's not he's not 21, 22, but he's still solid, so just, y'all know what I mean. You feel me? Y'all know what I mean, because the Lions will do something like that. Just don't overpay for him. Please don't overpay for him. The second thing I want to talk about, or the second person I want to talk about, is the guy Armand Ra St. Brown. Now, this guy, I saw some games when I was watching some USC games a few years back, and I kind of seen him but didn't see him, because I wasn't watching the game to watch him or USC, so I was kind of just watching it because it was nothing else on TV for real. But he had an okay game from what I seen from him, but it wasn't nothing to make me be like, oh, yo, he's gonna be tough. But then I went and looked at his stats and everything, today, and saw some highlights of him on YouTube. And I mean, he's explosive, man. He's really explosive. Explosive is the word I got for him, because I've seen some receivers or whatever, and I've seen some guys, that can take off and, out jump guys, but, the strength is there, the speed is there, the mental is there, and like he's had examples of work ethic, taught to him, and he's seen it. His pops was Mr. Universe, like not everybody can do that. That takes a tremendous amount of mental capacity and discipline, and just getting a routine and executing that routine on a daily. So seeing that growing up it does nothing but rub off on you. You know, that's why he got he got two other brothers, and both of them are wide receivers as well. You know, and one of his brothers played for the Packers. He was having one of his brothers, I forget his name. It's, you know, their names are different, you know. He got like another brother named Osiris, and then the one that played for the Packers, his name is a little weird too. But he was having an okay season his rookie year, and then, you know, he got injured the second year, and then he played his third year. So, you know, if he didn't get injured, I feel like his brother's career would be a lot different, you know. But, you know, who's to say his brother might have a breakout season this year, you know. So that's something to, you know, keep in mind. But he already has a brother in the NFL. You know, he has a younger brother that plays football for Stanford, you know. So they've had, you know, it's in them. You know, like, some stuff you can be taught, and then other things you have to do on your own. Like, you can be taught how to, you know, how to hold your hand when you're catching the ball, or, you know, how to receive a handoff, or, you know, like, you're supposed to throw behind your ear. You could be taught those things, but the things that you can't be taught is how many times you practice, and how many times you know, wake up and you do the same thing over and over. And like, what that work ethic, like, you know, when you receive that payday, are you gonna keep having that same hunger, you know, to be great? And a lot of guys, you know, don't have it. You know, they get to where they want to get to, and then it stops, you know. But I feel like seeing the examples that he had growing up, you know, that hunger is just instilled in him. You know, I really feel that way about him. So one word to describe this guy, I say, is just explosive. And I think the Lions fans and, you know, the fan base have a lot to look forward to, you know, and they need to go ahead and stop playing with him and give him his money, you know. So that's one thing I like to say about him. And the second thing is his numbers don't lie. You know, freshman year, 60 catches at USC, and then 750 yards for 3 touchdowns. Solid year for a freshman. Sophomore year, 77 catches, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Numbers increase, you know, solid numbers for a sophomore. You know, and then we all know what he did this past year and stuff. So, you know, like, the guy's good. I feel like him and Cephas will be battling for that top spot. I do. I really feel like that. Cephas, now, if he takes advantage of this moment that he's in, and he sees, okay, it's an opening for me, you need to show out in training camp. You feel me? You need to show out in preseason. You feel me? Like, he's gonna have to. You know, I feel like it's an opportunity for him there, and hopefully he understands. Hopefully he understands, and he's hungry enough to go out there and take advantage of it. Last year, his rookie year, I mean, the numbers were okay, but they weren't anything that'll jump out to you off the page. Like 20 catches, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns for the season, you know. So, I mean, the wide receiving core, it doesn't really excite me as much, but the one thing that keeps me a little excited and a little happy about it is I understand that it's an enormous amount of potential there. You know, it's enormous amount of upside there with the wide receivers, and I understand that, and that's why I'm excited to see what they do in the future. And I mean, they might have, you know, breakout seasons this year. You never know. All right, so that's what I have for the wide receivers. Next thing I had, that this is what gets me hyped right here. Okay, is the fact that the new defensive lines coach, Walsh. So a lot of guys don't understand who this man is. So this man took a Jaguars team who wasn't much, or whatever. He brought in a few guys, you know, that got that defensive line right. He brought in a few guys, like what was the guy named Campbell, and that line was crazy. That defensive line was crazy. Like, they was calling them, like, the damn, they even had a nickname for him, like, who was Saxonville. They was calling them Saxonville, you know, like, because the defense was crazy, and it had a lot to do with Ty Walsh, you know, and he just went to the Lions, you know. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited. People forget that the Jaguars was in the AFC Championship playing against the Patriots a couple years ago, you know, and then due to, like, a lot of their stars leaving and injuries and stuff, then they started to decline, especially because of poor quarterback play. Like, the defensive line was dragging the Jaguars to to the playoffs and, you know, winning games. The defense was doing that, and it had a lot to do with Ty Walsh. And I'm liking what I'm seeing because he already switching it up, and I feel like the switches that he's making are like they're good switches. Like, he not just switching stuff because he experimenting. I feel like he looking at guys and he's saying, well, I feel like you're going to be good here. I feel like you're going to be good here. Because, like, when you think about it, he switched Okwara and Trey Flowers to outside linebackers. He moved them from defensive ends, you know, like edge rushers, and he put them as outside linebackers because the Detroit Lions were going to that 3-4 scheme. Now, with us going into that 3-4 scheme, it's going to be crazy. And the reason it's going to be crazy is because it's going to force teams to be tight end heavy. And what I mean by tight end heavy is they're going to have to put extra people on the ends just to account for Trey Flowers and Okwara, because now they're not at a hand down stance. They're not in a 3-point stand, you know, rushing. They have space and room to operate. You feel me? Like, they're gonna be like missiles flying at the quarterbacks, you know, because it's like they get that head start basically to rush. You know, outside linebackers is different. That's what makes Khalil Mack so special, because he has time to see, and he can pick his spots, you know, to maneuver and to get to the quarterback. You know, so it's gonna be a special thing. It's gonna be a special thing, and I feel like we're gonna see greatness coming from the defense this year. Like, I'm really feeling that way. So Wash, you know, and Aaron Glenn, I feel like the compatibility is going to be good because I don't think Aaron Glenn is going to step on Wash's toes too much with the defensive line. And the reason I say that is because Aaron Glenn, he's a pretty stand-up guy, you know, from what I done read. And, you know, I haven't heard anything bad. He was the defensive backs coach in New Orleans when Dan Campbell was there. You know, so once again, you know, that connection, guys knowing each other, you know, so it's just gonna be interesting to see, you know, how they operate and what's actually gonna happen, man. You know, so I'm super excited. But this is your boy The Bridge, aka the most delusional Lions fan that you're ever gonna meet. I'm out.